Hey guys, my name is Natalie, and please don't be surprised by my appearance. I'm fine, really. It's just that today is my blind day, and so, I think I should tell the story from the very beginning. Until recently, I was an ordinary teenager, went to school, had a bunch of hobbies, spent time with friends, and so on. Due to my difficult temper, I often fought with my parents and friends, then made peace with them and fought again. In short, I had an ordinary life, not even suspecting that everything would soon change. It all started when I got sick. It was winter, and I, being the fate's favorite, was one of the first to catch some kind of flu. I went about a week in bed with chills, coughs, fever, and headaches. You have no idea how glad I was when all of this nightmare had ended and I finally got better. In addition, Christmas was approaching, which meant that there was going to be a holiday party in our school soon. And this, by the way, is one of the best parties that our school organizes. No, really, you just can't imagine how amazing it is. There were going to be chocolate fountains, gifts, fireworks, delicious food. Of course, I really wanted to go. But my mom didn't care. She wanted me to stay at home and, as she said, recover completely. Well, of course, am I going to miss the party of the year because of some cold? That's nonsense. As a result, I had a huge fight with my parents. They even put me under house arrest, and I had a fever again because of the stress. If you think that after that I humbly stayed home, then you are very much mistaken. On the day of the party, I locked myself in my room and boycotted my parents, which made them really mad. And while they were thinking about what to do with me, I was sitting calmly in front of the mirror, doing my hair, choosing a dress, and wrapping the gifts for my friends. I've made friendship bracelets for them and couldn't wait to present them. The only problem was my parents, who refused to let me out of the house. Fortunately, my room was on the first floor, and it was not difficult for me to open the window and get outside through it. This was how I went to the Christmas party in a beautiful dress, as well as shoes, and without a coat or a hat. My school was located not far away, only 15 minutes walk from my house, but even in that time it was enough for me to freeze to the bone. Passers-by were looking at me as if I was crazy, and at that moment I really regretted that I had not thought of taking at least a cardigan with me. When I got to the school, I was shivering, my forehead was on fire, and my ears were plugged. Despite this, I was happy for about 5 minutes. Before I even had a chance to hug my friends, I felt dizzy and dark spots appeared before my eyes. I could not stand on my feet and I fell to my knees right in the middle of the hallway. Then I fainted. I came to my senses at the hospital, having terrible hallucinations. I did not understand what was going on. Stars were sparkling and horses were galloping before my eyes. I felt like I had gone crazy. I almost don't remember what happened next. I just know that I soon fell asleep, and when I woke up, I realized that my new life began. First of all, I could not open my eyes for a very long time. Rather, I did open them, but for some reason I could not see anything. It seemed to me that I was still asleep and just wasn't able to wake up. I even gave myself a slap in the face to come to my senses. Then I heard my mother's worried voice. She asked, "Natalie, what are you doing?" And then I understood everything. I realized that I was blind. I got really hysterical. I was crying very loudly for a very long time. I didn't want to be blind. The doctors even had to give me sedatives because crying made me feel short of breath. And you have no idea how happy I was when I regained my eyesight the very next day. And 2 days later, I was already discharged from the hospital, but on the condition that I would spend the whole holiday at home under a warm blanket with medicine on the bedside table. To celebrate my recovery, albeit incomplete, I decided to arrange a small party since I actually did miss the Christmas party. I also didn't manage to present my friendship bracelets, so there were plenty of reasons to organize a private party. I called my friends, invited them to my place, and spent the whole evening in the kitchen baking Christmas cookies for the upcoming holiday. I finished everything at around midnight, and I was so tired that I fell asleep as soon as I touched the bed. I woke up after hearing a loud doorbell and the cheerful screams of my friends outside the window. I immediately realized that I had overslept and was about to rush to open the door, but there was a black veil before my eyes, and I saw nothing again. My hands were shaking with fear, and I groped my way to the entrance door. My parents were not home, and I didn't have anyone to ask for help. When my friends saw me, they immediately called an ambulance and even went to the hospital together with me. The holiday fell through again. I was again put in the ward and was under the close supervision of doctors. I said goodbye to my eyesight again, as it seemed to me, forever. However, it was restored again the very next day. I stayed in the hospital for about a month before the doctors could give me some strange and incomprehensible diagnosis. To put it simply, we can explain it in the following way. Due to the flu and severe hypothermia, there occurred a failure in my body. Some optic nerves were affected, which is why I'm losing my eyesight every 3 days. And I don't just lose it, sometimes I can't even open my eyes due to severe spasms in my face muscles. This looks as if I'm squinting, and in order not to frighten people around me, I have to wear a blindfold. Since then, the so-called blind days have appeared in my life. They are highlighted in my calendar with a red marker so that I always know on what day I will be blind and have to stay at home. When my parents found out about my illness, they immediately offered me to start homeschooling, but I refused. I was depressed and did not want to stay alone at all. School was my only salvation. All my friends were there, and I just couldn't be separated from them. Fortunately, the principal allowed me to skip classes on blind days, and my friends promised to come to my house and tell me everything that the teachers said during those days. This is how I realized that I had the best friends and the best parents in the world. My mother even quit her job in order to always stay with me on blind days, at least until I adapted to it and learned to do without help. Living without eyesight is very difficult, especially for me. I feel like a helpless kitten, constantly stumbling, dropping objects, and bumping against walls. Once every 3 days, I go to a completely different world, to the realm of eternal darkness and absolute helplessness. Ironically, it was on such a day that my birthday fell on. You know, my birthday has always been a special day for me, just like Christmas. And the fact that it fell on a blind day made me really upset. I did not want to celebrate it at all and even refused to accept gifts. My friends invited me out, but I didn't want to go outside with a bandage on my eyes and with a cane in my hands, so I just lay on my bed planning to spend that day all alone. However, have I told you yet that I have the best friends in the world? While I was being upset, spending time in my room and listening to sad music, my friends came to my house and secretly prepared a huge surprise for me. I got to know about this when I heard the loud music from the living room and decided to find out what was going on there. And even though I could not see the color of the balloons and what was written on the cake, to my surprise, this did not prevent me from enjoying the holiday that had been arranged for me. With my parents' permission, my friends organized a great girls' party. We were eating pizza and cake and chatting till very late at night. This was when I gave my friends the friendship bracelets, which had been in my bedside table since Christmas. And what's most important, I realized that with friends like them, even loss of eyesight would not take away all the joys in my life. Thank you for listening to my story. Do you have good eyesight? Tell me about it in the comments, and don't forget to click on the thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel.